This SEC College Football Preview Part 2 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to a $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN.
Hey, it's Peyton Manning, and you're listening to SGPN. Let's ride.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man. San Diego Superchargers.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Hello, Sean.
What is happening? Joining us in studio all the way from his country club.
Wow.
He's missing the member guest, Ryan, just to join us to hang out. Country Club Colby himself, aka Pablo Picasso. Pick Dundee. What's happening, Colby?
There's no pimento sandwiches in the fridge.
Yeah, he was looking around. Yeah. He was asking where he could get a good shine. We were supposed to get a shoe shine chair. We were bidding on it in Sotheby's, and they couldn't get here in time. So we apologize, Colby. Very generous of you for gracing yourself in the studio.
And you guys weren't wearing collared shirts, so I just said, okay, I won't wear a collared shirt.
All right, Sean.
Yes.
Does Colby know what a member guest is?
I think he knew it was a country club thing, but Colby, do you know what a member guest is?
Someone that pays a monthly fee to go to that shit, right?
Well, I think in this case, Sean is referring to a golf tournament hosted by the country club for members and their guests.
Yeah, it's a lot of country clubs. They have a annual thing, the member guest tournament, where
you knew that, of course.
Yeah, I don't need to explain that to you. And again, you graciously decided not to play the member guest and instead hang out here, talk college football. Now, this is great because early July, Kramer and I are going to be off the grid, various locations, doing some vacation, but we got you loaded up with a bunch of episodes, a lot of which will be our college football conference previews. Colby's been in here. We've been in the lab grinding them away, pre-taping them. For me, the highlights so far has to be the ACC episode where we discuss Chapel Bill, but there is a bunch of great nuggets, takes.
I did turn down free Dodger tickets tonight for the show.
Oh wow!
What do you mean?
That is pretty good.
What do you mean?
Today, I should say, to work today. I turned down free Dodger tickets, so I just want you guys to know that I am a company fucking man.
Let's go.
All right?
I would say in general the ACC part 2, where not only did it have some Chapel Bill talk,
and the UVA.
We discovered an undocumented logo,
part of the UVA logo, which is really great.
We're grinding hard.
No, it's summer camp, but we're just locked in the studio, getting you guys ready for the college football season. Of course, check out the college football experience, 130 plus team previews. Colby going through every FBS team, couple FCS teams as well make it in. But tis the season. NBA season officially over. Congrats to the Thunder, and we're ready to completely switch to football.
Colby, what team are you on?
Well, we go random.
Oh, I know.
The next team up is the UTSA Roadrunners.
Is there somewhere someone could see the order, or is it just like you spin the wheel on the?
No. Me and Mac have a sheet, but I don't give it out unless people want to Venmo me $600.
Oh wow!
No, it's I
private.
think it's to me, I think that's part of the element of the fun. A lot of times, and maybe I'm just a maniac, I like to think back of when I was a fan first, right?
Yes.
And to me, I would always care when I would hear things on each one. I was like, the unknown is good. The unknown is always good.
So you're building in a surprise.
Yes.
And guess what? I know we just covered Michigan and Alabama, where we're doing UTEP.
100%. I like that. And then they're just like, I just learned something about UTEP. Right. So
how long are these episodes?
1 hour dedicated to every team in America.
Is anyone else doing? Is there another show doing this?
No, it's always been, and I like to think we're criminally underrated, but it's okay, guys. Wow. I just stay. I you know what it is?
Criminally underrated.
We just stay working. You know what I mean?
Sean, call the authorities.
We have a crime.
Salt and battery on the ratings.
I see Caleb already in the chat saying Beamer and the Cox to the CFP.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we do have South Carolina, so we're picking up. We left off part 1, and shout out to Dr. Bet on X, who was mad. He's saying that was cruel to only release part 1 on Thursday.
Sorry.
But hey, come on, we were recording.
I mean, we got it in before the 4th.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Also, in general, we don't often put out an episode on Friday, so you shouldn't be that surprised that the next episode comes out on Sunday.
Generally it's Sunday to Thursday, and the VSiN show Friday night, where we got bonus SEC stuff. So we got you covered.
Yeah,
and we're picking up with Mississippi State, taking it all the way to Vanderbilt to close out the SEC.
Are you ready? Because if you missed part 1. We got books and papers.
That's where they like to play their games. You know what I mean? Classic Greg Sankey stuff. They like to play their games on paper. And let's use the last since 2005 to 2021 as data points here. Even though the whole sport's completely fucking changed in those past 3 years. But Brett Bielema did a great job exposing that bullshit. Go check out that.
Anyway, yeah, great. Shout out to the SEC for continuing to try to cheat as hard as possible.
Well, I will, as much as it is fun to bust on the SEC and a lot of the annoying stuff they do. I will. Now, was it the SEC or the Big Ten where they were discussing the auto bids and the coaches actually said no, we don't want the
coaches.
So yeah, as much as we give them shit, I do think they deserve credit for not wanting the auto bids.
Well, I think they have their own personal reasons, though, of meaning like they might be able to have certain years where you get more than 4 because the auto bids.
Yeah.
Like I don't know that they did it for the good of the game. I think they did it as thinking like, hey, what if we're number 11 or number 16 or something and we're fighting for that? We would get that over the second auto bid for the Big 12 or the ACC. So they had their own reasons.
Well, they certainly.
I don't think it was a moral.
Well, they're
thing.
right.
Yeah.
That's the easiest take in the world.
You don't think the SEC coaches are morally correct?
No, but it's like, hey, we're good.
But at least
not since our friend Mike Leach passed.
At least the take had it. Yeah, at least they're advocating not for auto bids, and they might have an impact on it. So,
and I
will give them credit for that.
Well, also, it just looks like auto bids are just. Really, I mean, in especially in college football,
there are auto bids. Win your conference.
Yes, and that's the only one that it should be. I think it's I think it's incredibly short-sighted. The sport changes drastically. I can remember in the 90s when the SEC was not the best conference, and obviously the past 2 years when the Big Ten was. But
if you're the best conference, you're gonna have the most teams in the playoff. I mean, you've expanded it now,
but so the sport, it changes a lot. You know what I mean? Virginia Tech was in a national championship. I know a lot of people think, well, Alabama's a powerhouse and they've mostly always been a powerhouse. Yes, there is some consistencies with certain teams, but there's a lot of change. Oregon was once fucking terrible before Phil Knight got a bunch of money. So to try to set this agenda when you can't see 10 years from now.
Well, the BCS. I mean, Virginia Tech making a national championship in the BCS era when there was only 2 teams is strangely proving the point that the SEC has only gained more power. Because, I mean, again, in theory, if you're putting 3 or 4 shots into a 12-shot playoff every year, you're just going to rack up the national championships. And I don't think you need the auto bids to do that. You guys are cheating the best.
Prove it on the field. Like Brett Yormark said, it's like, hey, we prefer the games to be played on the field, not in some fucking classroom or
it's unfortunate
hotel room. Yeah.
That the
conference room.
That college football has gotten to the point where you have these 2 conferences run by, I mean, obviously they're businessmen. They're not like Sankey's job isn't to make college football better. It's to make the SEC better. And so you can't even hate Sankey that way. He's done a pretty good job.
No, he has done a good job.
He's just ruining everything.
Yeah, he's just being a little bitch about finding people half $1,000,000 now or to storm the field. Keep storming the field.
I'm more worried about what he's going to do to March Madness. Like they're going to be playing a whole weekend of playing.
That train's coming, man.
I know.
I don't know how to stop it.
Well, and we had Jay Billis on the show, and I said to him, "I'm against expansion, but when they have the games, I will be watching." And Jay was saying, "Yeah, I understand it." And he was a part of one of the what was it when they moved from. What were they previously at? Whatever they moved from like 40 something to 64. Yeah. He was in the tournament in those years. And he goes,
80,
people were
in the early 80s.
Yeah. He's like, people were saying the exact same thing then when they expanded the tournament. It just, the tournament is so perfect.
Well, I disagree because
it wasn't even that popular.
Ever since we left 32 teams, we were effectively adding around. And we're still in that same phase because we would have 3 or 4 playing games, whatever.
I mean, he's talking about 1983 or something.
No, but that's my point. We've been since the point that we left 32 teams in the tournament, we have been in the same phase. And now they basically any more addition to the previous round, and you're forcing selection Sunday to be it's just ruining it.
I've heard a lot of people like say that argument that Bill has said there, and I'm like, but that was pre-TV and shit.
It wasn't even an argument. He was just saying that people were complaining about expanding the tournament, but
back then ESPN was like 4 years old, and it's completely a different thing today than it was then.
No, I don't want them to expand. I'm just saying I think they probably will, and people will probably watch those games.
Of course, we will watch them, but I mean, I just don't think I just don't understand it.
Yeah, no, I don't get it.
Well, we need more teams from the SEC. Obviously, pay attention, Colby. Let's take a look at the odds. Poor Mississippi State. They're just like some of these smaller conferences we'll cover in the future. Other than that,
wait, so they're 1,000-1 to win the SEC?
Yeah.
Don't let them get hot.
Yeah.
How do they have the same odds as Vandy though?
Because they just stop at 100,000.
Yeah.
You're also you guys overrate Vandy a little bit. Oklahoma at 55-1, Missouri 130-1, South Carolina.
Oh, and sorry, these are to win the championship, not to win the conference.
South Carolina and Tennessee 60-1. The Horns, Arch is getting a lot of credit.
Plus 550 to win it all.
That's
I
not
don't know,
real,
man.
right, Colby?
No, that's I think
that's not
is
a real
their,
number.
That is their.
That's not a real
their
fucking
odds
number.
to win the Natty. That's crazy.
Let's get into the first team. Beautiful Bulldog here by Colby for Mississippi State. Shout out Stark Vegas. They've been in shambles since the Leach tenure ended, and 2-10 last year, even worse. 3.5, perhaps the lowest win total of Power 5 football.
I mean, I'm trying to remember what the final score was, but I know Toledo was up like 35 on them. I feel
minus 144 to the over, plus 118 to the under. I mean, 300-1 to win the SEC. That's amazing. 80-1 to make the playoff. That's even funnier. 1,000-1 to win the championship. This team has losable games on their schedule. We discussed again, like Sean mentioned, covering all the conferences. Mississippi State's a team that's not getting a lot of respect from us.
Blake Shapen was out for the year at the quarterback spot early on last season. They get him healthy, former Baylor starting quarterback. Maybe that can be the answer. Fluff Bothwell also comes in. I know Sean.
I do love Fluff.
That sounds like a character from Boogie Nights.
I think you're just taking the word fluffer and
maybe Bothwell. That doesn't sound like the doofy.
I couldn't get it going till Fluff Bothwell came into the scene.
I'll meet you in the Bothwell.
They could lose the first game of the season.
I think they are going to lose. That's my week 1 upset.
But Phil Steele does have them as part of his +5 on the stock market indicator rating.
Really?
Well, just getting your starting quarterback healthy is a good reason.
Yeah, and stock market indicator for the steelheads out there. basically it means you're likely to improve on your previous win total. Now they only won 2 games, so the odds that they could win, they could improve, they could win 50% more games, win
Their
3
schedule's
games,
hard,
and still go under at 118.
all right, let's play the game.
It is juiced to the over though.
At Southern Miss, which we're
It's not a cakewalk.
you know,
I think they're gonna lose.
then you have Arizona State coming to town, who
I think they're gonna lose.
should. I mean, I assume there's going to be like, are you going to outscore Arizona State? Then you have Alcorn. Although Arizona State is coming off of don't they have a big game the week before?
No,
do they
Northern
not?
Arizona
Oh, I'm
Lumberjacks. Yeah.
Then Alcorn State, NIU 2 wins, right?
No, NIU, you better watch out because I would say they have the boneyard. If you go to DeKalb and see what they've done in their just the past 20 years, wins at Maryland, at Nebraska, at Northwestern, at Notre Dame last year.
So you're saying that
I
it's not
think
a win?
they won out of Alabama one of those years. Northern Illinois did. I'll give them the win here because I'm giving them the Southern Miss loss. But I think that's a game. I don't just sit there and say, well, man, Mississippi State should be. I think that's a game, but Mississippi State wins it.
Yeah, they're not going to be 0-4, but I think they'll probably win one of those.
So just to remind, they are 14-point favorites against Southern Miss week 1.
Money line that
4-1
right
for Southern
now.
Miss on the
Yeah,
money
it's
line.
not. It's
At the
Southern-
Rock.
We're going to be on Southern Miss money line, as you'll hear in future episodes, but it's not, certainly there's a chance Mississippi State wins that game,
And then
and maybe they have 2 wins there. They're dogs in all conference games, as you'd imagine.
This is a ridiculous schedule though, because when you look at it, like if they don't bring their A game, there's only one win that is like
they're
for
laying
sure.
points week 3 and 4, right?
I mean, we saw Northern Illinois. Guys, Toledo didn't win the MAC last year. It was Ohio. Northern Illinois, Toledo went into Starkville and whooped their ass by 30 fucking points.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they beat Alcorn State, but NIU's maybe a half a win. Then you get Tennessee and
Loss.
at Texas A&M,
Loss.
a tough spot in Kyle Field. Then you have a bye. You're down in the swamp against the Gators, which I don't love the Gators, but that's probably one of the wins they get. Texas coming to town on homecoming.
Why would you?
Whoa.
Why would you do that?
Well, the schedule's tough. You're gonna pick Georgia in a couple weeks.
No, you pick the NIU Huskies so you can have homecoming as a win.
Then
What do you do? That's insane.
They're traditionalists. They like to do it at the end of the year, not this early season bullshit. At Arkansas, Georgia at home, at Missouri. Those are 2 tougher road spots.
Call me crazy. I actually
Ole
think
Miss.
I think their third most likely win
They're not winning. 2
is
games.
the Egg Bowl.
Yeah,
Just because it's the fucking crazy game.
because the egg.
Yeah.
It's anything could happen.
So they.
They almost have to win the Egg Bowl though, right?
Where is
I
their
feel
third?
like so.
Where
They
is
have to
this?
win the Egg Bowl.
Yeah, where are they getting this?
I'm on the under.
So
man.
all right. So even if they win those 3 games early, Southern Miss, Alcorn State, NIU. Let's just say they win 3 of those.
Lock those up.
Is there another win on the schedule?
No.
Probably not. And you
and-
could always
Ole
just
Miss. It
you
would
could
come
always
down to
just
the Egg
you
Bowl.
could always
What
just
is
take
the
the
all-
money line.
1.5.
Yeah, under.
No, you're getting plus money on the under.
Under.
Yeah, all day.
I'll take the under
Give me
3.5.
that. Yeah.
And we could be sitting on 3 by September 20th and have to sweat this the rest of the year.
Probably.
We're just why
But I mean, I would feel also pretty good.
if that they're not going to win a game in their conference.
If you really wanted to monetize the situation, you could just take 1/9 of your bet each week and put it on the money line. You probably come out ahead.
that is one way to do it, to monetize your bet.
Well, we don't monetize bets here, and we certainly don't hedge.
Missouri, look at this logo, Sean.
This is great. Missouri Tiger.
It's a tiger wearing a helmet and looking like it's under some sort of trance. Is there a football in the hand or
football in the hand?
I don't like the way it's gripping it. That little loose, and then the spikes
Kind of looks like Tigger if he had different stripes and got into Coke.
That's a
Super locked in.
Those spikes are a torn ACL waiting to happen.
Ryan with the cleat length handicap.
Quietly 19 wins over the last 2 seasons.
Phony ass 19 wins. Though,
7.
dude. I don't know what they're doing. Well, I don't know the connection, but the SEC's gave them some great schedules, and then they've got a horseshoe up their ass. Remember that like 65-yard field goal against K-State, or the Vandy game last year where Vandy just kept missing field goals. Vandy should have beat them. They were the better team all day. But they have great schedules, and they got it again this year, guys. And look, they bring it. They obviously lost a bunch of production. Luther Burden's in the
Zero
NFL,
returning starters on offense,
but they hit the portal heavy.
Yeah.
Bring in Bo Pribula, the backup at Penn State, who was a big time recruit.
Their defense, I feel like, is usually pretty good.
Yeah, and they get Ahmad Hardy, a running back, a first team Sun Belt guy. Kevin Coleman, who was with Coach Prime at Jackson State and was at Louisville last year. I mean, I came in wanting to fade this team, and I haven't even done this exercise yet. But I just thought when I saw those guys graduate and I saw the product where I just thought they were not that good last year. It's one of the ones I feel like the SEC props up as like it's some great team, and I feel like they're just not that good. But
I have a nugget for you.
But Drinkowitz, he's won 21 games the past 2 years.
11 conference wins in the SEC over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
This is the list: Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Mississippi, and Missouri. That's the list.
Wait, but he didn't beat Alabama.
No, I'm
Okay.
giving you that's the list of teams.
See, that's a little deceiving.
that have that many
11 conference wins over the last 2 years.
It's a little
or
bit
more.
deceiving. Let me explain.
Alabama, hold on. Alabama has 13. Georgia has 14. LSU, Mississippi, and Missouri have 11.
Well, look, it's a little deceiving because in 23 they were still in the SEC East, right?
Fair.
And then last season they got gifted a great fucking schedule. They didn't play a road game until October.
Let's look at this year's schedule. You said it was good, huh?
It's a great schedule. Again, I don't know what's happening. Out the gate, they get Central Arkansas.
Win.
Might be a win.
Then Kansas. Now that game's
Win.
that's a huge rivalry game that hasn't been played in a while. So I actually think Kansas is alive to beat. I'm taking Kansas. They're losing that game.
What do you think
Yeah.
the spread?
It's
4 points, 6 points.
I just think Kansas is a
Columbia
better
is
coach
a weird
team.
spot always.
Yeah. Raging Cajuns at home.
That's a win.
South Carolina at home. Now that's a game.
That is a game, and I want to say Missouri has had their number, but it could be vice versa. I remember I felt like Mizzou had won a bunch of games against South Carolina.
Now this is how you do a homecoming. UMass Minutemen.
Do you know, Colby? What is it? What is the battle? What is the rivalry called?
For what?
The Missouri versus South Carolina.
I don't think it's called anything.
Oh.
It's a
thinking
battle of the congested heart.
Kansas is a rival that's called the border war. I think it's called
The Mayor's Cup.
Did they create something there?
Per the internet.
The Mayor's Cup. Well, who's gonna get this Mayor's Cup?
It's kind of an interesting one. Let's see. Missouri, you're right. They have had the number.
I'm gonna take Mizzou. I'm gonna take Mizzou to get that one just because of the home environment. And
So you're gonna give the Kansas one, but you're gonna
just one or the other.
They're gonna be 4-1 going into the bye. I
agree.
think.
Yeah,
I think. Right?
But, yeah, I got them at 4-1 going into the bye, but they could easily be 5-0 because they don't go on the fucking road. And guess what? They come out of the bye and they don't go on the road.
No, they play Alabama at home, which
great bye week.
Bye right
Whoever
before
did your
your
schedule's incredible.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, you should. If you're making your own schedule, you should take a bye before one of your harder games.
No, but the SEC makes the schedule of the SEC opponents. You're in charge of your
yeah. You get
your
some of the
non-con.
control.
Then
At Auburn,
where
kind of
Winnable.
depends on how you feel about Auburn. We were all in the under 7.5.
at Vandy.
That back-to-back road spot, but very winnable.
Yes, I mean it's a nice schedule, guys. It really is. And then you get a bye week, but guess what? You're home
We have some
to
of these
A&M.
spreads, too.
Oh wow, that is beauty.
So Missouri's laying 6.5 against Kansas for reference.
Okay, I guess 4.
Honestly, let's talk about this. If you were a random SEC coach and they're telling you, or just random coach, they say you got to play in the SEC, blindly you would say, what do you want on your schedule?
Not Alabama.
No, but I would want Arkansas. I would want Vanderbilt.
Oh, I see.
I would want Mississippi State. I would want
Yes.
South Carolina. They get those 4 teams. I would even want Oklahoma in this day and age.
You don't have Georgia, right?
No Georgia, no Alabama.
So
Or
then you have
got
Texas.
Alabama.
I even think I'd vote Auburn. I think I'd want Auburn.
Yeah.
So they're getting every fucking team that you want,
Yeah, Texas A&M,
minus Kentucky.
Texas
Yeah.
A&M at home, Mississippi State at home, at Oklahoma. That's an interesting game.
all these teams that
And
are
then
gonna,
at Arkansas to close it out.
you are a trip up spot for everybody.
How does this team not 8-4? I can't get them to 5 losses. I'm on the over.
I'm on the over too, and I don't like it because I don't think they're any good.
But it doesn't
Like,
matter.
I think they're an
he's won
average
21
team.
games.
I think they're an average team, but it's a great fucking schedule. It is. It might be the best schedule in the SEC.
Let's talk. Yeah, I mean, you look at so Alabama plays them on the road against. So Alabama goes at Georgia, Vanderbilt revenge spot at home, at Missouri, and then Tennessee
Yeah.
on the road.
There's nothing like that. Look, look at just the conference schedule. The best 2 teams they play are Alabama and A&M. They get them both at home. So I think they're due for maybe even an upset of one of those ones. But even if they lose, because that's the thing, Drinkwitz normally they get fucked up when they play good teams. But even with that, I still think they're 8-4.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to build a case. Like,
Where's the 5th loss?
okay, let's say Kansas. They could lose to South Carolina. It's
Well,
possible.
you guys have them going 4-1 in the
Yeah,
beginning, or
yeah,
5-0.
4-1.
Okay,
Then I have them beating
1-2 here.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
So then you're
right.
4 losses. Now, I guess that's how you do it, and then you find a 5th loss at Oklahoma. But I don't think that's like worst case scenario.
Yeah,
I still think they're 8-4.
I mean, honestly, like if you're a Mizzou fan, you got to be just jumping on that plus 550 or
You got it. You
plus
got
50
it. Yeah, you gotta love the value of their
to win the SEC, just because you can get to the SEC championship game just by the schedule.
Yeah.
Well, and just they're kind of one of the spots in the conference. It's just you got to take a plane to a bus. Always a little weird.
How many true road games do they have?
At Auburn, at Vandy, what?
And then at Oklahoma, at
They only have 4 road games.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
This is a smash to the over.
They're against the teams you like
They can
Vandy,
win
not
some
known
of
for a
those.
lit environment.
Yeah.
And
Oh, whoa!
and when they get Arkansas, there could be a coaching change. The last game of the season.
Here we go.
Yeah.
You firing coaches again, Colby?
Just saying.
And so, all right. So we're good at anything.
I'm all
anything else we need to talk
I'm
about?
all in the over. This
Do we
is
need to deep dive the quarterback room, or
I'm on the over, even though I don't think they're that good. That's the only problem is like I don't think they're that good of a football team. So you could still lose this because I just don't think there's that many good players on the fucking team.
I
but-
start by previewing or at least reflecting back on the consistency and winning in the conference,
Yeah.
which then
Drinkowitz,
gets poo-pooed by Colby.
Colby, where are you at with Drinkowitz?
Yeah, I'm not sold. I mean,
He poo-pooed me, and then
But
he
he's
takes
had
the over.
he's had back-to-back
But let me
years.
prove my point. Whenever they play someone good, right? A&M 41-10, Alabama 34-0, right? Like they
That's
get
why they don't
fucked
play them. They're
up.
smart.
Are those home games?
Hold on, I'm going to the year before. LSU 49-39. I guess they're in that game. I don't know. Like they're.
Come on, Colby.
I just don't. I mean, he's clearly doing a good. You can't fire him. But I kind of think they're fool's gold, and I think this is one of the things. Back to the Sankey, our conference is the toughest conference, and look at our project. Like I think this is a counterfeit fucking team that they prop up with wins because they don't play 9 conference games.
Okay.
Lock it up. I mean, this could be a lock. You know what a true lock is?
But Colby is on the O. Just to be clear, Colby is and
I don't like the team.
No, he's
calling out the propping
he's
up.
impartial handicapper, Ryan.
Well, he seems very partial towards.
I think I opened up the thing when we went to saying like I came in wanting to fucking hammer. I was gonna lock up the under, and then you look at the schedule, you're like, I can't get there.
Yeah,
No.
you can't.
You know where I can get to? MyBookie.ag. Come on, toss us a bone and toss yourself a bone. But head over to MyBookie.ag. Oh, Diego Pavia made it on the graphic. MyBookie.ag. Promo code SGPN. Get you 100% match up to $1,000. $1,000. Terms and conditions apply on the bonus there with the rollover, but fast deposits, faster withdrawals with the easy convenience of cryptocurrency available in so many locations. I mean, again, Ryan, we've been using MyBookie. It says MyBookie 10 years. I feel like they've been on the show when we must have been there for like year 1 or year 2.
Yeah.
I've bet personally a ton of money over the years over at mybookie.ag. Highly recommend it. Promo code SGPN. Mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN. And also another place we love, the Circa and their ultimate fantasy football giveaway. Almost on the last week, end of the month. If you haven't entered already to win the ultimate fantasy football draft experience, what are you waiting for? sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. It's completely free to enter. All you have to do is give them your name and your email, and you're in. And again, Circa's awesome, but the this contest is free to enter. You and 11 friends, and get your 11 friends to enter. Because if one person wins, everyone wins the free trip. 5K tab at Stadium Swim. Are you kidding me? Legacy Club welcome party, limo to and from the airport. Someone who's been lucky enough to be in the Circa limo. That thing is a party. It's stocked with any drink you want. Cool Vegas Vicky light up thing.
Awesome flex.
The limo ride. When Derek's like, "Hey, get in the limo," that is pretty cool. And you guys, again, free to enter. And if you don't win, still a great place to have your draft. Promo code SGP15, 15% off all the Circa properties. We're going to be out there July 3rd for a VSiN show and for the ultimate contest weekend, August 21st to the 23rd, aka College Football Week 0. So good time to plan a trip. Sign up for the contest. Come say hi to us. Colby's and Mac are going to be doing College Experience show out there. We'll be doing our show, VSiN show. They have open bar parties. It's a blast. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA to get started today.
All right, let's head over to team number 3, Oklahoma. I mean, Colby, I was expecting an animated GIF of the carriage falling over, coming out a little too hot.
This is like Oregon Trail vibes. Is the Oklahoma Sooners, are they going to die of dysentery, Colby?
This is a bad because the time period. I don't think this is a great. I don't think this is remembering a great time period in Oklahoma history. Just something.
Well, the covered wagons,
people just passing through like you do on an airplane now.
Well, I mean, even Oklahoma back in the day, they weren't stopping in Oklahoma. They were kept going out to the west to get mined for gold.
Do you know what happened to me when I was taking my carriage through Oklahoma? The local the local tavern and hotel refused to rent me a room unless I proved to him by opening up the U-Haul that there was no humans.
Dead or alive?
In the truck.
Did he think you were a serial killer?
Well, I think he thought I was hiding people, and instead of paying for 2 people,
you were a coyote. He thought you were a coyote.
It's the craziest experience of my life. Oklahoma's a wild place, and it was close to the hometown of Troy Aikman. Big billboard, like straight out of Varsity.
That is a disgusting act.
I know. Now, who knows what kind of stuff goes on in the rest stops around there with Troy Aikman's hometown. So we're talking about Oklahoma. They, as Colby predicted, joined a much harder conference. Arklahoma.
Yeah.
And went in right into mediocrity. They also maybe didn't hire the right coach. 6-6 last year. Only 2 wins.
6-7. They lost to Navy in the bowl game.
Yeah, I do regular. I don't observe.
Yeah, I mean, come on. If I'm sorry, most cases I agree with you, but when you have a team full of like 4 and 5 stars and they play a fucking service academy with 0 stars and lose,
exactly. You don't have the right coach.
That needs to be. That's part of your record.
Okay.
6.
Well, I don't actually observe the bowl games. 6. I mean, what you just gonna start calling them the Elks? No, they're the Eskimos.
Never heard of them.
6.5 the win total this year. -164 to the over, +134 to the under, 24-1 to win the conference, +520 to make the playoff, -800 to miss, 55-1 is the natty price.
This is, I think, one of the harder ones to project on the SEC. Like in the entire SEC, I think it's actually like I could see a scenario where this breaks great for them.
Our buddy Phil Steele, I think he had him 4th in the SEC overall, and his optimism, which was based on they had a ton of offensive line injuries and just a pretty injured team in general. So generally, injury luck break. You don't have 2 years back to back where you're super injured. If they get some injury luck, that could make a difference.
Well, I mean, they brought in a brand new roster basically, especially on the offensive side of the ball,
which that's tough. But they had a pretty good defense last year. How many? What are they returning on defense?
And that's Venable's thing. They're returning 8 starters on defense. But look, Mateer. So they went out and hired Ben Arbuckle, the offensive coordinator for Washington State, who brings with him his quarterback John Mateer, who was very good. You saw Cam Ward; he backed up Cam Ward. He's an athlete. He's a very good. He was a very good baseball player.
Only 2-6 in conference last year.
Yeah, he struggled some, but there's still flashes. And me and Patty C were he was a great fantasy football player last year. If you look at his stats, because he's got wheels, he can run too. They then got they really benefited off of the portal craziness up in San Francisco and Palo Alto of Frank Wright coming in after they brought in, I think, 2 offensive linemen from Stanford after that. And then when the Cal shit happened, they brought in their star running back, one of the best running backs in the nation, Jaden Ott. They still got Deion Burks, the Purdue transfer at the wideout spot. So they're a fascinating team because if you're asking me which one, could we be most wrong on?
They had players last year though, right?
Yeah. I mean, but the schedule at the top breaks nice. So momentum could really be a thing. Let's pull up the schedule because
I gotta see the schedule because this is another coaching staff that I don't know if it's possible to get behind.
Well, week 1,
but also it's only 6.5. It's not like you need them to.
Yeah, week 1, Illinois State, the Redbirds and the FCS come into town.
Okay, win.
Then what I like about this Michigan game, I know Sharon Moore is an OU grad, so I'm sure he takes this game really personal. But this will be their 5-star quarterback's first ever road game. So I personally think Oklahoma should win that.
And it's going to be hot as shit in Oklahoma on Saturday, September 6th.
And then they go to the Link.
Good luck at Temple. Temple's going to be live.
Why are they playing at the Link?
I have no idea. You know what I personally think it is? I think Temple leads the all-time series, and sometimes schools take so much pride in that. They say, hey, we want to get that all-time series.
But are there a lot of Oklahoma alum in Philly?
I have no idea. It's so strange.
Doesn't Temple play most of their home games at the Link now?
No, they play all of them, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was a special.
No. But no one goes to these. There's 12 people at these fucking games.
Seems like a big stadium for Temple.
I've always wondered. Well, they used to have a stadium on campus. They got rid of it. I don't understand why they don't play at the MLS team there. Then they're home to Auburn. I think they're better than Auburn to me. So I think you start off 4-0. Yeah,
4-0, maybe 3-1.
And
but 4. I think I like. What do you think that Michigan spread's going to be?
Get me out of this position right now.
They probably have that line out there. But how about this? Kent State is worse than Illinois State.
Well, they got a bye
guys.
too.
All right, are you ready for the
They
spread?
have 2 buys. Yeah.
Oklahoma is laying 2.5 against Michigan.
It's a tricky spot.
Yeah, and then look, I think Kent State is a bottom FCS team. Yeah. Right? They're in the FBS.
So they're 5-0.
But I think Kent State is really bad, right? I think I told you this on another episode the other day where I have them ranked 136 out of 136. I think Illinois State, if Illinois State, their first opponent in the FCS was playing Kent State, I would set that as Illinois State minus 7.5 or something.
Oh
right?
no, that's embarrassing.
So they're gonna be 6-0 if they get that Auburn and Michigan.
All right.
Game,
Okay.
right?
Texas on a neutral.
What is that? 5-0. I'm sorry. 5. Red River Shootout.
They're catching 10.5.
On the shootout?
Yep.
Oh, give me the
I know
points.
you're all over.
Those games
You're
are
all over
fucking
Texas
insane.
this year, right, Colby?
Horns up.
Colby won't even go along with the jokes.
And then they.
No, I think they beat Texas.
Timeout.
Yeah.
Well, then you got. I mean, if they're beating Texas, they're hitting.
He beat him 2 years ago.
Is this the first year that this game isn't being played at 11 a.m. local time?
Yeah, I think they did move that time, right? Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, pretty filthy.
What are they doing? It's
as long as they keep it in the real Cotton Bowl.
No, they're playing
try
it
to do that shit.
3:30 East. That's probably what 1:30 local.
What?
Yeah, but normally it's 11.
No, this is normally kicking off before. normal, or no, it's 11. It's like noon East, 11 local.
Okay.
Yeah,
But I'll tell you this: if I got them beating Texas, I'm not taking them to win in Williams-Brice.
They're not winning both those
Yeah,
games.
give me a loss there.
And then Ole Miss. I mean,
I'll take a win there.
really
At home.
They're gonna lose probably at Tennessee though.
Yeah.
So you got them. You got them already to like.
I told you the front half of the schedule is incredible, and if you can ride that momentum, now because it gets a little crazy
So
right there.
Probably 2 or 3 losses going into the second bye, right?
Yes. Then you're at Alabama. You're gonna lose that game.
Okay.
Home to Missouri, I think you win. But I mean, it's a game. Well, a lot of it depends on if they can run that stretch against Michigan and Auburn, because Venables truly, you guys laugh at me, he will be fired by the second bye week if they do not start out red hot. He almost got fired last year.
Colby's fired. Another
Oklahoma
coach.
has ridiculous standards.
So if they lose to Michigan, how quickly do the wheels fall off?
They could. I think the bigger one is Auburn because that's an SEC game. You know
How? So you think they're going to win more than 2 SEC games this year?
Yes.
So
yeah, I got them. What did I say? 5-0 out the gate.
Not for me.
6-0. They
They're
get
getting the 7.
I'm
They're
on
getting
the over.
the 7.
I'm on the over, man.
I mean, 6, and the juice is crazy.
Unless like Mateer gets injured because he runs so much.
I think the coach is not good under.
All right.
I mean, good luck. We saw it last year. Colby nailed this, and now he's taking the over on Oklahoma.
Yeah, a lot of it is the like I know it's a tough schedule, but it's a nice lead up.
Is it the schedule?
What do you mean? I think it's actually a tough schedule in the back half, but the beginning is very easy in my opinion.
Moving along to the Cox of South Carolina, coming off Beamer's best season, 9-3. 7.5 is the win total this year. Plus 118 to the over, minus 144 to the under. 26-1 to win the conference, plus 430 to make the playoff, minus 620 to miss. 60-1 to win the championship. We haven't really discussed it yet, but I guess we did in part 1. But this side of the there are some very interesting playoff prices.
Playoffs,
because you don't need to make to make the championship game. I mean, it's the same thing we were talking about with Mississippi a little bit with Ole Miss. You can end up in 3rd place, maybe even 4th place, and still get in. And South Carolina being plus 430 here, if you're going to be optimistic. Now, I'm told that the quarterback is going to be an NFL draft prospect.
Yes, Lenora Sellers is really good,
and I'm also aware that Shane is probably looking to button up a hell of a resume stop at South Carolina before taking over for Coach Brent Pry in Black.
So he would want to follow his dad's footsteps. Seems like a lot of pressure.
He would want to come home and fix things.
Now I would say.
So this is a great. I would say, to me, this is a year for him to prove that he can coach in Blacksburg.
The reason to be critical of them, they lost a bunch of their defensive line, which was probably their best unit, and 4th hardest schedule in the nation. So that's kind of reasons. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess your conference schedule is always going to be super tough. I'm intrigued to see how we think they're going to shake out in the non-con. But what are your early thoughts here?
How do I keep pulling up the wrong one?
What are your early thoughts, Colby, on South Carolina?
You know, I'm gonna personally fade them, but I didn't think they were like, they did get a little bit hot towards the end of the season, but they should have lost to Old Dominion in the opener. Old Dominion fumbles inside their 10 with like 2 minutes left.
So you don't buy the quarterback?
I do, but I also think like the defense, and then like I don't think he's on some super elite level yet. He's got to prove that to me. But I do think he's solid. He showed flashes of being really fucking good, so I can buy into that. You know, if he does take that step forward,
Can Beamer coach at that level?
Beamer's been better than what I thought he would already be. But I think let's talk about this schedule because I think it has its challenges. The Hokies.
And real quick, Sellers for Heisman 18-1. I saw Caleb in the chat saying bigger sleeper team. Heisman
That price
caliber
came
QB.
down big.
If they can get Nick Harbor going too, there's like an athletic freak of nature at the wide receiver spot. He's like basically like he looks like fucking like Julius Peppers. That's how they would be able to cash this over if they just go off. But I do have them starting off 1-0 because they take on these Hokies at that bullshit stadium there in Atlanta.
Will they have the crowd?
Yes.
I mean, I've been to a couple of these where Virginia Tech is playing an SEC team. Alabama had the crowd. Now this is an Alabama team in the middle of a Nick Saban like dynasty run. I wonder if the Gamecocks will have the same level of command over the crowd.
How they don't do a home and home and they do this bullshit.
Yeah, I'm
ridiculous.
with you. I mean, again, you want to show off the best, and not only that,
Chick-fil-A will be open. Oh wait, no, it's a Sunday. Why are they doing it on a Sunday?
This is so dumb.
All
I'm
right,
not even
pointless.
I'm not even that anti-dome, but playing like a college football game between the ACC and the SEC in a dome is
those
stupid.
two specific. Take the dome shit out of there. Those two specific fan bases are awesome. So you could be really highlighting the why we love college football. Instead, you're doing some corporate bullshit here. And yeah, it isn't a dome.
Yeah, I don't get the.
Right,
I don't get the. I get the neutral
Guess
for
the spread.
for a rivalry game like the Cotton Bowl or something like that, maybe. But in the Mercedes-Benz Dome for like two teams that don't have a history.
Yeah, it's
Guess
stupid.
the spread.
Very stupid.
South Carolina, Virginia Tech.
South Carolina 4.5.
No,
favorite.
South Carolina is 8.5.
9.5.
Wow. All right. So market loves the South
So
Carolina. I'm just
plus-
drinking Kramer's Kool-Aid.
I guess I'm back. Plus 300 on the money line. And then this little in-state little brother situation with the Bulldogs of South Carolina State. That's probably even a bigger number. They don't
That's
have
not
it
gonna be
open
out
yet.
there. 2-0
Vanderbilt
loss.
coming to town. Pavia, all of a sudden you're anti. I think you don't like Pavia here.
I said loss for South Carolina. Yeah,
I'm sorry. At Missouri, that's tough.
Well, I told you loss.
Kentucky.
Win.
So you got them 3
They
and
could
2.
easily be 4-1. Let's be honest.
Probably-
Williams Bryce is such a good home field advantage.
3 and 2.
At least one
I'm
loss.
comfortable
I think,
3 and 2.
going into the bye on those first 5.
Then they come off the bye
And this is where it gets ridiculous. Look at
Yep.
those. Look at those next 4 games.
at LSU in what looks like could be a night game.
Loss.
Oklahoma coming to town. That's
I
probably
gave that to Carolina. On the
That's your
Oklahoma
winnable
side.
game.
Yeah.
Then Alabama homecoming. Alabama's laying 7 in South or on the road.
I got them losing all these games.
And then at
They got
Ole Miss.
Oklahoma. To me, that puts them at what?
So 1 and 3.
1 and 3 in that stretch. And
You
then
had them
over
3
there-
and 2 earlier.
Yeah, so four wins right there. They need to basically go 3-1 in the stretch. Or,
So their record's
Or
4 and
3-0.
5 in your
Yeah.
simulation. So
no,
far.
so I've already cashed the under.
At Texas A&M,
Loss.
another tough road spot. Then the Chanticleer's flying in November for a nice little out of conference game, and then you got Clemson in a
And they
rivalry
just beat
game.
Clemson. What?
Clemson laying 5.5's the number we got.
Yeah, I'm
early.
on the under.
I think it's a lock potential for me.
Really?
Yeah.
So wait,
Build me 8 wins. Build me them going 8.
They're
4.
favored against Coastal.
of course.
They're favored against Oklahoma.
Maybe.
Maybe they're favored against Kentucky and Vanderbilt and SC State. So that's 1 and Virginia Tech. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That they're favored in 6 games. So where to your point, so they have to overcome that, win twice as a dog, and not drop a game as a favorite.
I feel pretty good about
Well,
this one. Yeah.
Looks like you won't be getting that job in Blacksburg this offseason, Shane.
Everyone on the under. South Carolina 7.5.
Nah, it's too bad. And how is Gamecocks not offensive? I mean, it's essentially a fighting cock, right? What other Gamecocks are there?
You got the Fighting Irish.
Yeah,
Well, that's different.
and that is
that's-
offensive.
That's well, it is illegal to box without gloves. That's true. Tennessee next up, which hot I would say of the college football what did I miss?
Oh, those are your South Carolina fan at Tennessee.
He's getting his Gamecock inspected.
Yeah, look at that right there.
You gotta warn me when you got these bonus
Can
pictures.
you imagine coming home to the wife?
I mean, what are you making as like a stadium security guy? And you're there. You're just, hey man, I'm catching a couple checks here. I want to watch the game. I don't want to deal with this old dude's pants falling down.
Oh shit!
And he's staring at him. He's got a giant gross goatee.
Why is his pants even down?
You gotta get off of this.
There we go.
Oh, and then we got all right. So, like I was saying, the Tennessee Volunteers, very nice logo here, Colby. Again,
They need to go back to.
Gonna want to check out the
That
YouTube.
shit's a
great.
fire. When I first got into college football, that was their logo.
It's
man.
like a Converse. Yeah. It's like a Converse logo.
I see
star.
that. I see that.
10-2 last year. A little bit of an rising for the Vols. They're not typically this good.
Man, I always fade Tennessee.
8.5.
I'm never on board.
Back to where they normally are. 8.5 is the win total this year. -110 each way. 26-1 is the conference price. But unlike South Carolina, Tennessee is +245 to make the playoff, -320 to miss, 60-1 to win the national championship. Interesting to see the price variance there. So, I mean, the difference basically in last year's performance was they just won a bunch of conference games.
They had a great schedule last year.
They have a pretty good schedule this year.
I was all over Ohio State destroying them. I mean, they got a tough draw with that, but
all their tough games are at home, aren't they?
Yeah, and they get once again that this
at
fucking
Alabama.
Mercedes-Benz bullshit. You got the Syracuse Orangemen coming in. That will be a Tennessee crowd week one. And but let me ask you this:
Syracuse is they're used to playing in the dome.
Yeah, that's fair. Let me ask you this though, Nico. Nico was there's reports that he before the playoff game was demanding more money.
No, that's not reports. That's fact.
Yeah. So before the fucking playoff game,
it's crazy. But that's when your leverage is high.
That's why I'm kind of I kind of want to buy in because Joey Aguilar is like a dude from App State. He transferred to UCLA, and then they go get Nico. Aguilar had 2 years ago, not last year, but 2 years ago had a fire season. I'm like, is less more here? Where you have a guy that just wants to play ball, that's hungry to play ball.
Nico, I don't even think was that good.
I don't think so either. I thought it ridiculous.
To your point,
like an average fucking quarterback. Yes, he has raw skills that Aguilar doesn't have, but
-12.5 Tennessee in that kickoff classic.
Yeah,
and by the way, Colby,
I'll
again,
take the points, though.
We should embrace these early season games as they will soon be the bowl games, and we'll be finally without these horrible bowl games in our life.
If you did the bowl games as the first week, that would be kind of fun.
Week 0 and week 1 are just these big matchups between conferences.
Tax Slayer conferences.
This is an NFL take by you guys. Keep that bullshit out of here.
What do you mean the NFL? What are you talking about?
I'm saying
the NFL doesn't have bowl games. All the games in the NFL are meaningless.
I don't want to see neutral site fucking games, dude.
They don't have a committee involved in their
I don't want to see
playoff.
them either, but they exist. They're going to.
I would
exist.
much rather watch the Boca Raton Bowl in December than this shit in Mercedes Benz. Yeah.
I guess those games don't count.
I don't know.
But what is it?
Believe what you're saying.
But what is it?
Why not do a home and home? They did a home and home in the late '90s. Was awesome.
Oh, sure,
we'd rather watch the Boca. You'd rather watch Steve Levy in the Boca Raton Bowl than Tennessee Syracuse.
College football games should be played on campus, right?
Yeah, we agree.
It just should be played on campus.
Everything's binary, Sean. And I fall for the trick every time.
Especially to start the season, you gotta you want to see what is
agree.
the season.
I remember. Virginia Tech saved football. Remember when they brought football back from the death when COVID happened, and then Virginia Tech played a home game.
I actually think you're incorrect. I didn't McNeese
super spreader event.
Didn't McNeese State play like a game on Fox Sports Southwest that we watched on?
But they didn't capture the spirit of a nation. With a Metallica live rendition that
the libs were all mad at you guys. Super spreader event they were calling it.
The guy with
killed my grandma.
The guy with the overalls and the turkey leg was spreading for sure. So after they maybe don't beat,
they're gonna beat Syracuse.
Sean will be on Cuse +360. I'm pretty
I'll
sure.
take the points and Q's to stay in that thing, but
12
I
and
think
a half?
I
Yeah,
think Tennessee
why not?
wins that. I think Tennessee beats the Buccaneers of East Tennessee State.
Okay, fair. I'll
And
give
then
that
they
one.
lose like they always do to Kirby Smart in
Yep.
Georgia.
Yep.
And then Trent Dilfer, the modern game does not impress
UAB
me.
Blazers.
They're gonna get destroyed. So 3-1.
Wait, he's still the coach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so they're not trying to? Is this a?
Well, I
is
don't
this
know
a
what
UFL
his buyout
situation?
might have been decent.
Yeah, they had to pay the players $20 million. So
They were
lot of
like really bad, right?
A lot of bad coaches hanging around.
That's another win.
That's another win. So,
So
I
they're
got
5-0.
No. What? You haven't beaten Georgia?
No, 4-1. I mean, they could beat Georgia.
Then after that, they are hosting Arkansas. That's
Okay.
a revenge. Remember, Arkansas stormed the field against them. Shout out to them. Storm again. If take
Get
that
fine.
fine.
Get that fine. Yeah.
But I got them beating Arkansas, guys.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
a home game. They'll be laying points. In fact, we have spreads for some of. They are catching 7 in the Georgia game, going back in time a little bit, and then at Alabama, which is after Arkansas. Alabama laying 12.5. Alabama seems to be a little overrated this year. Is that just me?
Really? Because I'm on the over, and I locked it, I think. But
Yep.
These spreads are big though every time.
You didn't lock it up, Colby. You did take him to win the
Yeah,
SEC.
come on, he's already
Plus
he's already
480.
making
that's
shit
pretty
up.
much a lock in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I know.
Pretty
it's
much is not a lock.
they could maybe win the SEC
At
with 9
Kentucky.
wins.
Look, I have
That's a
losing.
winnable
I have
road
them
game,
losing
right?
2 games on the stretch. Whether it's to Kentucky or whether it's Oklahoma, one of them's going to get them.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
That
with
is
you there.
this is a
So 2
Tough.
losses there.
So
They're at
6
3
and 3?
losses. So
6
can
and
they?
3.
Will they have? Classic annual matchup within the conference.
Well, that's
the
their conference
Aggies,
foe.
New
That's-
Mexico State.
The hidden. It's like what do they say about the what's the 9/11, like the one floor that's missing or whatever, right? Isn't there like a thing?
Are you talking about
Building
Tower
7?
7?
Yeah, some
Building
shit.
seven.
Maybe I'm thinking
Carroll.
of the elevator with like the number 13's never there.
Yeah.
Right. So it's missing. New Mexico State's that. Number number 17
Okay,
team
so
in
they're
the
the missing team in the conference.
Yes, they're
Okay.
hidden. They're hidden.
I mean, I'm not totally following.
I don't know what I'm talking about
Oh
either.
no, I
I get
like
it, I
that.
get it.
New Mexico State is building 7. Where? What happened?
They're on all the SEC schedules
No, yeah.
nonstop.
Because you're
Give us another show
you're
that
like-
gives you this
you're
analogy.
anytime you
I'll say UMass is you can make a case that there's another missing one with UMass, but New
Wow.
Mexico
Oh,
State.
the Minutemen, they keep
Yeah.
a good program.
UMass is joining a conference.
That
now.
and thank God, because they would, if they were independent, they would have been on 3 more SEC games.
At Florida in the swamp, which that's going to be a tough game, but they're going to be a better team.
But
They might have fired.
they're going to
Napier
get pissed
now.
on at the end of the season, and our boy has said this, that they're going to go in there and win.
Yeah,
that
he's like,
game.
we own Tennessee.
Yeah,
He's
starting
got
this
that
year.
game circled.
Yeah. So Josh Heupel, light the cigar because you get your smokes in before that piss hits your face. All
Man,
right?
I could get him to 4 losses.
I'm on the under.
Yeah, 8.5 is a hair high for them.
Yeah,
Kramer,
especially
what are you
if it-
doing?
Mm.
I mean, I
But
feel
Florida
like I'm
might-
always fading
Colby, you didn't
Tennessee,
do
though.
the thing where you said Florida might not have their coach.
Well, I have them losing to Vanderbilt, and that puts them on the under.
Yeah,
See, I think they could win out there.
Mm.
I mean, them going 9-3 is not crazy. I'm not going to lock this up either way.
Give me the over.
them.
Is there juice?
It's -110
No.
each way.
I'll
Do
take.
you do you have them winning against the missing floor?
What do you mean?
Building 7? You have them winning?
Yeah, I mean, we should connect Colby and Pete Carroll.
Jet fuel doesn't get that hot. Steel beams don't melt at that temperature.
It's crazy that stuff is still all over the algorithm.
Yeah. Speaking of red hot, have you guys signed up with Rhythm and their power trends? They are on fire. That's right. Get a 7-day free trial. sportsgameonpodcast.com/RITHMM. The power trends have been awesome. Great season for them in the NBA. And now you got WNBA player props dropping, MLB, and of course, right around the corner, college football. Start building your models now. And you get that 7-day free trial. Start playing around with it. You're gonna love it. Rhythm is a great tool. Even if you're a gut handicapper like myself, you got to enjoy the data and the analysis that Rhythm gives you. And just try the 7-day free trial. Anyone who's tried the 7-day free trial, hit me up if you don't like what you see in those 7 days. I've heard from no one. DMs are open. sportsgameandpodcast.com/RITHMM. We're also brought to you by Underdog. That's right, Underdog. Best Ball Mania, aka the only way to draft fantasy football. You don't have to deal with the waiver wires, yelling at my cousin because he approved some trade with a guy he went to forklift school with to help him out. That's bullshit. You don't want those managed leagues. You want best ball. You just draft the teams and 15 million in prizes, 2 million to first place. It's great. And of course, if you use our promo code SGPN when you sign up, you get a deposit match up to $1,000. So Best Ball Mania, $25 entry fee. You could get 40 free entries into Best Ball Mania, 40 free shots at winning $2 million just for drafting a fantasy football team. America is the greatest country of all time. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN.
Sorry, while you were doing that, let me just read this. Swap this, and then let me just read this passage or article title, I guess. Pete Carroll seeks truth about 9/11 from 4-star general, finds out that it's likely true, probably gets sad all over again. A little satire there, but it was funny circling back to this story many years later, Sean. It is kind of refuting the claim that the Army general walked out on the lunch.
No, maybe we exaggerated because or whatever. I don't think he ever left, but he became annoyed by Pete Carroll was I think what I read or something like
Carroll wanted to know if the attack on the Pentagon had really happened. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Every 9/11 conspiracy theory you can think of, Pete asked about.
Yeah, I think it was the guy was just such a big Seahawks fan, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll give you a tour. You can say hi to Coach," and then he just asked him all his 9/11s.
And the general even said something nice. He isn't crazy. He's just skeptical. Pete grew up in California during Vietnam, during Watergate. That's just the perspective he brings to the table.
That is a great answer. That's a guy who wants tickets to the Seahawks game.
All right, next up we got Texas. What is this logo right here? This looks like an ice cream flavor or like an ice cream brand.
Yeah, dairy.
Actually,
It's a dairy
it's a pretty fire logo, right?
So back-to-back 11-1 years seasons for our buddy Sarkisian, which I would have bet a lot of money against the idea that he could go 11-1 in the SEC.
Well, they gave him a great schedule.
I don't
he
care.
had the best schedule in the conference last year. Yeah,
9.5 is his total this year. Huge juice on the over, -194, +156 to the under. They're scared to move it up, Sean. +290 to win the conference, -310 to make the playoff, +235 to miss. This is the chalk of the conference. It's the chalkiest price we've talked about for a playoff.
Yeah.
And at +550, it's the chalkiest price we've talked about for the national championship. This is crazy.
I know the narrative
This is crazy.
is just going to be the arch and the offense, but which I think we will discuss. They lost a ton on the defensive side of the ball that I think is not getting talked about. Guys like me who know ball, Colby, you would agree, right?
yeah. I know, how good is Arch? I know a lot of people are saying like, well, Quinn Ewers was what, a 7th round draft pick. Why didn't Arch start over Quinn Ewers then? If that's the case,
Ooh, I like that.
But to me, they take hits on the O line, and honestly, my biggest question mark is I don't think Steve Sarkisian is that good of a coach. I think Arizona State outplayed him that game.
Oh my
they got
God.
fortunate on a 4th and 10, and also a ridiculous non-targeting when they call targeting so much. But if it benefits Texas,
Wait,
they'll do it.
was that last year where they threw all the bottles on the field to get that call?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they ended up losing that
Against
game,
Georgia.
though.
Against Georgia.
Here, listen to this list of players that are now playing in the NFL. First round, offensive tackle Kelvin Banks, defensive back Jahada Barron, Matthew Golden, wide receiver. Second round, defensive tackle Alfred Collins. I mean, I'm not going to read. There's 8 more guys. I mean, they lost an entire half a team to NFL draft picks, let alone free agents. Seems hard to repeat that. Plus, is Arch even that good? I'm not even all right. So I remember watching him play in one of his high school games. It was all hyped up. He's Arch Manning, and I remember watching him get his shit pushed in by like IMG or something like that. And
Well, he was that high school, I don't think produces a shit ton of
that's
talent.
fine.
Yeah,
He went to the hometown or the same place that.
but
his
he's
uncles
more
went.
athletic than I realized. I'll say when he
Sure.
got in the games last year, I was like, wow, he's got some wheels.
I just think this is an insane amount of expectation to put on him.
I think to me, what has gotten me off at Texas for this year, and maybe some managing, Arch Manning is. Todd McShay put it out there, and like a lot of other people have put it out there. They're like, "Hey, don't be so certain that Arch Manning is going to leave Texas next year for the draft. One, he doesn't need the money; he's getting plenty of NIL. He's roster,
at Texas.
And I think he hasn't started many games. Yeah. I think both Peyton and Eli started a shit ton of games in college. They realized how valuable that was. I think he wants 2 full years as a starter. So I would not be, I think they're putting that out there, or at least letting that be known to manage the expectations of what you're going to see from Arch here. So I think he will end up being good this year at this point, but like to just make him this smash favorite for the Heisman Trophy and that he's going to win all these games. Certainly I think that's way too fast.
Well, and with NIL, quarterbacks are just going to start being older in the NFL.
Yeah.
Because you can make money in college, get better. And unless you're some sort of phenom, you're
even look like a guy. They even look like a guy like Bo Nix. Starting a bunch of games in college makes a difference when you go to the pros.
Yeah. I mean, they've been pretty open about it. It does seem like it's not really a secret. He's not coming out after this year.
It's certainly not a complete lock. Now maybe things change throughout the season.
But what could possibly change short of
I don't know. The family doesn't need money. Like even though he makes bank,
forget the family.
Texas, like
he's making bank at Texas.
Yeah.
Like
isn't he like he's got like a Dr. Pepper commercial too. Like he's got ridiculous.
Sure, it
NIL
certainly helps
things.
that your uncles are have a media company and they do one of the more entertaining broadcasts of Monday Night Football.
They do.
The Manning cast.
I thought the glazing has just begun.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not really. I'm in on the idea of Eli and Peyton as a content creator, but I don't know about this Cooper. I don't know about his gene pool.
No, I think,
and first to have your season start up in Columbus.
Oh yeah, I got them losing week 1.
Yeah, let's walk through the schedule. At Ohio State week 1.
That's just good luck. If he wins that game, that will be a very impressive start to his Heisman campaign.
Yes.
But he's not going to win.
What's that spread?
What do you think?
Ohio State minus 2.5.
Say 4.
Ohio State minus 3. So right now, my thought is smash Ohio State.
I would take Ohio State as well. Then they take on San Jose State, who I think is a real player in the Mountain West. However, if they lose to Ohio State, they will smash San Jose State, I think.
Yeah. UTEP at home.
3-1.
Yeah.
Sam Houston at home. Bye week, so probably 3-1.
These are the Heisman campaign games where you get the 5-6 touchdowns, you get the stats padding. So off the bye at Florida, where they will be laying 7 points.
They're going to lose one of these next 2 games.
Yeah, at Florida and then Oklahoma.
The Red River shootout because it's a distraction game,
and then at Kentucky.
Yeah,
which it's not a in and of its own right isn't a tough game, but and then this is an underrated tough stretch of their schedule. At Florida State, Red River shootout, which you're prime for a letdown, and then you have at Kentucky, at Mississippi State. Now, Kentucky and Mississippi State are both. You're both much better team and should be.
You want them on the schedule,
right?
Four straight.
But it's 3 road games in 4 weeks.
No, SEC still helping them.
4
straight games where you're not at home.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Okay.
I mean,
you don't play. You don't play at home in October.
That's pretty crazy.
Well, then they're gonna get pissed on.
Oh, dude, our buddy Pavi is just licking his chops.
Yeah. So I can picture all those singers on 6th Street there trying to do their songs, just freshly.
Pavi, they got the guitar case open and just
freshly pissed
filling
on.
it up.
Yeah.
And then they get another bye, and then they're playing Georgia, where
at Georgia
right now we can get Georgia minus 2.5.
What?
Yeah, take that
in Athens.
Yeah,
in Athens.
They beat them twice.
Did they not watch the games last year?
Then Arkansas Yeah, they got Oklahoma and Arkansas on the schedule. Then the rematch. This is the game that I think I have circled. Like last season, Texas was able to win, and like I was really anticipating. That was probably the game I wanted to watch most all year, and it was kind of a dud. It was kind of like both offenses couldn't move. Texas kind of dominated, but it was still like I think 17-7 if memory serves me correct. Then I think Texas A&M has arguably the best offensive line in the country, so I think that's going to be a game. So I'm on the under. I think they're 9-3 personally, maybe even 8-4.
I was just running through it again, and I keep coming back to 8.
Yeah, I mean they could be 10-2.
I'm kind of part
10-2.
I'm just saying they could be
10-2. Who are they?
But you have to right now it's minus 194 on the over. No, thank you.
And just a couple more spreads. The Oklahoma game is 10.5, and they are laying 10.5 against A&M as well.
You always take the points. I know there was that one time where Dylan Gabriel got knocked out for that bullshit abrupt slide, which was fantastic, by the way. But most of those games are always bonkers.
So, Sean, to your point, they're only dogs in 2 games. So
yeah, I
but
mean
the Red River Shootout has 100 years of craziness. You can't just say
it does
that's
feel like
great,
they'll find a third game to lose. Now maybe it's in that weird road stretch. Maybe Arch just has
Florida
a little rough
is a
game.
sleepy spot before the like
it's
an easy look ahead.
I think it's the A&M game too, man.
Yeah. No, they can easily lose 3 or 4. And you're getting plus 156 on the under, so smash it.
all right, moving along to the other Texas team. With that,
what about this guy?
What's this?
Remember he went viral?
Yeah,
that was
did.
great.
Look at that.
And it was like seeing himself
He's
go
got.
viral.
By the way, he's got him 12-0 this year.
I mean,
Don't get a big head, Arch.
How do you wear a polo shirt to a football game?
Relax. The SEC fans are going to be coming after you.
Yeah, tuck in your shirt.
How do you
pussies.
not wear? How do you not
get a
polo
haircut?
shirt?
Yeah, look at that thing. I mean, I wish I had them a chair. This is a great logo, Colby.
All right, so let's talk Tex. I mean, this is really a great logo. What is that? Is that a chin?
It's a strap.
But the chin's around his lip, not the chin. I mean, look at it. He's just got it around his lip.
He's like that. It's like that villain in the movie Cobra. It's got.
It just looks like eventually that would be uncomfortable, cause chapping maybe. All right, Texas A&M still spending lots of money. If you haven't done your own research, DYOR as the kids say, on Texas A&M selling a bunch of its research capabilities to the Middle East for football prospects, it's a good read. 7.5 is the win total this year, which tells me they're not getting great return on that football dollar investment. Minus 164 to the over, plus 132 to the under. 15-1 is the conference price. Plus 245 to make the playoff. Minus 325 to miss. 40-1 to win the national championship, which you can never look there at this point. Colby.
Look, I'm a Mike Elko guy. I make no mistake about it.
Remember him swaying back and forth, like with the face, like what like help?
What am I doing here?
Help.
And look, and if you were to evaluate year one, it was kind of a dud.
Yeah.
Now some of that, I think he did not bring Kevin Johns, the OC from Duke. He went out and brought in Colin Klein from Kansas State, and it took some adjustment. Connor Wegman, their starting quarterback, got injured. The freshman Marcel Reed came in and played pretty good. But they did have some injuries. But Marcel Reed, I was surprised. I thought A&M, because he was a freshman, and there was games where throwing the ball was, I mean, he had flashes. They didn't go out to bring in anybody, and they have all the money in the world, like you alluded to. I think they feel pretty confident about Marcel Reed's capabilities moving forward. The running game, Ruben Owens and Le'Veon Moss, studs. And like I mentioned earlier, I think they might have the best offensive line in the nation. That is why I am optimistic. The other thing is the defense. Last year, the pass defense was pretty terrible.
Yeah.
One thing I know about Mike Elko, that shit he will fix. And he says he is going to be calling the plays defensively with Jay Bateman.
Number 5 in experience, this team is.
He will I that's one like the guarantee. Who knows about Marcel Reed? I tend to think though that if they're that bullish on him, I'm going to follow it. But
yeah,
I just believe that he will fix the pass defense.
No, I'm with you. And Elko having a solid year, and yeah, it was a little dud, but they were still 8-4. I mean, they started out 7-1.
But the problem is, I took a future on them, and they were
Yeah.
in position late in the year to do that, and then it fell apart. Now, I'm gonna go back to that well, though. I think here they opened the season against UTSA and Utah State. They should be 2-0 before they head to Notre Dame, and it's a revenge spot. Obviously, Notre Dame came down there and got them.
Yeah,
I like them to go in there and get Notre Dame. Notre Dame's going to be starting a freshman quarterback, and Lloyd Carr's grandson, and
Touchdown spread right now.
Notre Dame's laying 7.
Yeah,
they might be live here.
I think Notre Dame's always got a good D line. I think Texas A&M's offensive line can negate that, and I think Mike Elko can make CJ Carr really struggle. You know, as a freshman trying to pass the ball. I'm taking a shot on A&M to win this one. Get revenge.
Okay.
Then they get a bye. Then Auburn at home, Mississippi.
I like
State
this
at
part
home.
right here.
Yeah.
How about this? They get 3 straight home games, right, to start conference play. I like that. I think they're going to win all 3. So I'm going to have them start 6-0, but they're going to lose because guess what? That game against Arkansas, normally the past like 10 years, has been played at Jerry's World. Finally, they got rid of that corporate bullshit, and they're bringing it back to home on home or home campus. So I'm terrified of those 2 games right there. I mean, I know Arkansas, you won on the schedule, but that's a rivalry game.
Yeah,
And they haven't been in
then
that
at
stadium in
LSU,
like 15 years. They're losing at LSU.
Death
probably,
Valley's just
right?
impossible. But okay, so but
I'll even say like because I gave them the Notre Dame game. Give me 2 losses right there.
2 losses going into the second bye feels realistic. Maybe 3 losses. Maybe
I think Sean's right to say maybe 3 losses
at Missouri.
I think they get that because I think Missouri's counterfeit. But I mean, I like the bye week before it. Tell you the truth, but
South Carolina, winnable.
Yeah,
Samford winnable.
I got them like 8-4, 9-3. I think there's a decent shot. That
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm on the over, but I don't feel as like walking through the schedule. I don't feel as
So for them
money
to go
about it.
7-5, what do you have them losing? Notre Dame, Arkansas, LSU, Missouri, and Texas.
All
they're
the
gonna
road
get
games.
one of those,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
8-4 at the lowest.
I like this one a lot, man. Actually, I'm gonna be at that
don't
window.
give
wanted
away a
to-
potential loss.
I wanted to read one of the investments that was, which by the way, there is a university. Texas A&M has a campus in Qatar or Qatar.
Really?
Yes,
That's cool.
as part of just this big.
Did they do those dances? Did they like ship one of those Lassie dogs over to Qatar?
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
That's where they train.
And they put the little headdress on it.
and they put the locals in overalls.
No, that's where they train.
Oh my god, that would a chic in overalls.
They send their toughest cheer squad leaders to train over there.
You want to look at leadership?
I wanted
a one-way ticket to Qatar, buddy.
I wanted to read off one of the research projects
in your Oshkosh bagosh, right?
One of the research projects that is in the group that have been shared investment with this large fund investing in humanoid robotics to transform football.
Mm-hmm.
What are they trying to do in the Middle East there, Sean?
Trying to take
and what
out
is Texas A&M's
what's our
role
strength
in
as a
this?
country? Football. How do you destroy America? Destroy football.
They're going to put the bombs in the football. Vanderbilt.
That was like that action movie that Colby where what did the guy like punts the grenade into the
Colby, post some of that next time tomorrow on social.
One of the greatest scenes. I actually think that might be the greatest scene in the history
in cinema.
So we're all on the over for the Aggies.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I'm in.
The Elko effect makes it not like, but they are still.
If
Texas
it's close,
A&M.
I'm going to take Elko.
They are still Texas A&M, and they will fuck up a wet dream. Moving along to Vanderbilt, last team in the conference.
Are you getting pissed on?
I don't know. Oh, we have.
There's the pisser.
Oh, Jesus.
The legend.
Look at. I mean,
pissing on New Mexico. They didn't offer him a scholarship.
How did he overcome that?
I was reading this great story on Jerry Kill and Tim Beck, the OCs, when they found him at New Mexico State. They were going to offer this kid from Iowa, the quarterback, one of their last scholarships, and they went to a local Hooters in New Mexico.
Already great.
And they were playing because Diego Pavia was at New Mexico military.
Yeah.
Right. So they
Which
had
is a
that game
great-
on the TV there, and then they watched that game as they're at Hooters. Even though
Hooters had that game on.
well in New Mexico,
Damn.
yeah, and they were about to offer. They had already said like we're offering this Iowa quarterback, but they watched that game and they're like, who the fuck is this guy? Right? We got to get this guy. And yeah, former wrestling state champ, right? He's just a bad motherfucker. Finally, we got a real quarterback back. So Sean, why are we not taking?
I don't need to see your
Yeah.
pussy ass schedule.
Yeah,
Give me 5 wins for Vanderbilt.
Wow.
Now,
Just blindly taking it.
yeah, of course, Colby. I love Diego, love Pavia. Now they even messed up a couple games. Like they last
should've
year,
yeah.
they came close to even more upsets.
I
The
think that-
Missouri game, the kicker, they
Well,
should have won that game.
They lost
yeah.
a couple that they should have had.
That's what you get that with the experience. I think.
Does the construction zone? Do we have an update? Because
I
last year
think they fixed the construction zone,
No.
which does
I
that
actually
hurt or
think
help
hurts them a little
Okay.
bit. But don't forget
That hurts
that
them a
this
lot.
team. I just think they were learning a brand new offense last year that was vastly different than anything they've had before, with the exception of Pavia. But they have Eli Stovers, who will be like a first or second round draft pick at the tight end. And you know, I actually think they got better on the offensive line. Now that doesn't mean they're still an amazing offensive line. I just think they're better than they were a year ago, which should be a bonus there. And I also think they're much better defensively. I think they got better in the secondary. That was one of their biggest kryptonites, especially late in the year, a season ago. So of course I'm all in. Diego Pavia, he's got to stay healthy. They got Blaze Berlowitz backing him up. Why does that sound like a Revenge of the Nerds, like a fucking dude that picks on him? It's like, oh yeah, Blaze Berlowitz.
He's part of the like the dumb jock.
And he's at the beginning he's tackling like the finest pussy in the high school, and then like you know that it's Ralph Macchio comes and beats up. Yeah, Dad. You know, like, I went to go get some lunch, but Blaze Berlowitz whooped my ass, right? And
It
your
does
dad's like,
sound
you
like-
got to fight back. Well, Dad, it's not that easy when you're going up against Blaze Berlowitz. You tell that to Blaze Berlowitz.
He's a blue belt.
But yes, look, they start off against Charleston Southern.
But
Win.
but just to confirm, the home games are now going to feature more fans from the other team.
I
'cause the
don't
stadium
think so. Did you
construction's
see
done.
when they took that goalpost down to the river?
Pavia was on.
I think he's
some,
ignited that fan base.
Pavia's doing a media tour.
Yes.
So
So
you got to get him on the show. Tag Diego Pavia on X and tell him he's got to come on the Sports Gambling Podcast.
he needs to, man.
Colby was miles. He was all over Pavia like week 1 last year. Now all these Johnny
all
come
over him when he
latelys.
was at New Mexico State. Now,
Yeah.
unfortunately, Noah Beanick from our fucking account talked shit about him
Oh.
a long time ago in his first start. So I think they can. I even got like some. I think I got one of his family members was like
Oh no.
talking trash to. And then I answered. I said, "That's not me.
Yeah.
That's not me. I would never. I
Tag-
would never."
Hit up Diego
Yeah.
Pavia. He's on X. Say you got to come on Sports Gambling Podcast.
Yeah.
He's the fucking man.
Let's get him on.
And he's a real quarterback.
What you got to do, Colby, is you got to go to him, and the gimmick is you interview him while you guys are pissing.
2 minutes at the urinal with Diego Pavia.
He's the fucking man. Shout out to Diego Pavia. But look, he's gonna be 1-0. And then my
Okay.
favorite thing, Enter Sandman's gonna be a little bit different when piss is on your face, Sean.
Yeah.
That's a ridiculous back to back there for them.
At Virginia Tech, at South Carolina. So they're
Night
3-0.
game.
Yeah, I got
3-0.
3-0.
So you got a night
lot of
game.
piss on
you got
on
a
the
night
faces.
game in Blacksburg, followed up with a night game.
It's 2-1 worst case.
Yeah, 2
Okay.
and 1. Then revenge on Georgia State. Those filthy Panthers got him last year. So 3 right there.
This is so optimistic.
Utah State at
4.
home.
That's a tough spot.
Now it's first year coach, year 1.
Tough spot.
Then at Bama, we already took care of those bozos last year. We'll do it again.
This is wild.
The goddamn Bear Bryant Stadium, Nick Saban Field.
You get LSU
Yeah.
at home, and that's where you want to play them.
You telling me Brian Kelly? He's gonna be yelling at his whole goddamn team the whole time.
His family
Right.
doesn't want the Diego Pavia.
You know,
heat.
he doesn't realize
They don't have a single Vanderbilt spread out, so you know.
Missouri at
they're
home.
beating Missouri.
At Texas.
I've already told you they're getting pissed on.
Auburn at home. Then Kentucky at home. At Tennessee.
Let's talk about the Auburn game for a second because Diego Pavia has beaten Hugh. So Hugh Freeze came over from Liberty. Liberty was in the CUSA
He
with
owns
New
Hugh
Mexico, and let's not forget that. So I want to say he's 3 or 4-0 against them. You feel good, Auburn fans, about just coming into the construction zone and getting pissed on?
I think so.
No, this is a smash play, guys. Love the backside of that schedule. All right, at Texas is tough, but they're capable of beating Mizzou at home. They're capable of beating Auburn at home. They're capable of beating Kentucky at home, and he's already told you he's winning in Neyland against Tennessee.
Yeah, you don't need to tell me I'm in.
This is a
Kramer,
smash play.
you're hesitating. Is it because Virginia Tech's on the schedule? You don't want to get pissed on.
I mean, Colby just how many wins do they finish with? 9.
I mean,
You got him going 9-3.
So
8-4.
we got our Heisman futures.
I
Right?
I gotta take the over, but because Colby is right about one thing. The home conference games are winnable, and they can go like Kentucky, Auburn, Missouri. If they can win 2 of those,
I'm also right about another thing.
What's that?
They have a better coaching staff than a lot of these other schools that spend crazy. Jerry Kill and Tim Beck are fucking geniuses. Look at Jerry Kill's entire career.
Yeah.
Right. There's a reason why they had that success. There's a reason why I took them on the money line against your bullshit Hokies. All right. If the Hokies would have hired those 2, they'd be in good spot right now.
Colby's very fired up.
Well, yeah. Diego Pavia is the man. Classic underdog story. He's talking a lot of shit, but guess what? Just like Ric Flair, he backs it up. All right. It's a smash play. Look at that.
How'd Ric Flair get in here?
He talks a lot of shit. You know,
He has a lot of confidence.
Although I will say having the stadium repaired is not good.
I think he
we
ignited
don't-
the fan base.
It's like Northwestern, Sean. It's not good. Trust me. Better if there's no.
He
stands.
ignited the fan base. How about this, dude? That guy had 28 touchdowns, 20 in the air, 8 on the ground, only 4 interceptions. He doesn't beat himself, and that's what's great. Vanderbilt doesn't beat themselves in this offense. That's why they're going to do this again, and I can't wait. Let's go.
$10 wager over at Circus Sports on Diego Pavia to win Heisman returns you $3,000. 300 to 1 Pavia Heisman.
Let's go.
That would be fun.
Let's go.
Although you might, we'll see.
He's
With
not
the
winning.
CLB.
I don't think he can win the Heisman, right?
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? He's not eligible? What am I
I
missing?
don't think it's possible.
Okay.
Like maybe he's eligible, but
I don't know. Ryan's trying to throw water on this.
is this his
conversation.
fifth? Is this going to be his 6th year playing college?
He's gonna if he doesn't win it next year, he'll sue the NCAA again. Those pussies, and they'll let him play.
Those drone strikes got pissed on last
did.
year.
Drones can't. They're not hermetically sealed. The liquid got in and ruined the drones.
Second team all SEC quarterback. Well, that's crazy. I thought this conference was so great. They
Would
could just
you-
go grab a guy from New Mexico military and he comes in second team.
Would you like to know the 2 schools that offered Diego Pavia a scholarship? This is a great trivia question. A ball knower might know this.
It's someone in New Mexico.
2 schools offered Diego Pavia a
What's the,
scholarship.
New Mexico Highlands probably or something like that.
College of the Mines.
So fun fact, not one Division I school offered him a scholarship.
Yeah.
Not FBS or FCS. Western Colorado of Division II.
Is that the School of the Mines?
No, that's not the School of the Mines. And Western New Mexico.
I told you it was one of these New Mexico schools. I think I knew that though.
Western Colorado, Gunnison, Colorado. Sean has
This
a.
looks cool.
I mean,
Mascot's the Mountaineers.
it's a Mountaineer. And then
That's a cool stadium.
Western New Mexico Mustangs. Shout out to
I guess it's not really a stadium; it's more of a field. But seems like a cool campus.
So yeah, great story to share with the kids. Even when he got to the end of his high school career, he was still shit. Didn't stop trying. Now he's, as Colby said, 2nd team all.
He's a
plays the
Heisman
game.
candidate.
He plays the game the way you're supposed to play the fucking game.
God help us
Yeah.
if Diego Pavia ever fake slides.
Jesus, Ryan.
Well, because he seems like the kind of guy that would pull off a fake slide.
No.
What?
Diego Pavia would do anything.
No, Colby's legit pissed. All right,
Fucking guy.
2 locks and a future. What do you got, Kramer?
Well, I'm certainly not going to take Vanderbilt. I don't want to do any of the inflammatory stuff. All right. Let's see. Lock number 1. Oof. There's a couple. I kind of want to be negative here. We'll go. Texas feels pretty easy. Texas
Under 9.5. Okay.
I also think, man, that Oklahoma team. Let's fade them under 6.5. Oh, future. Do we go A&M to win the? No, that's impossible. Which future do I like down here? Missouri. Give me Missouri.
Yeah, because of their
Missouri
schedule.
to make the playoff plus 570.
Ooh,
Sneak in the 3-loss team.
I mean, I was thinking of Vandy over 4.5, obviously. Let's see. I like fading Texas. I'll leave Colby on that one though. I think you're kind of wrong, Kramer. Over 6.5 for Oklahoma, and I do like Missouri. Yeah,
I don't like Venables.
Yeah, but they could. But that schedule, like I agree. I agree with Colby that they're kind of fraudulent, but they can just walk into
two things. I don't like Venables, and I don't like how they were talking about firing him last year as things were going bad. Just feels like that's like when that happens one year, it comes back quickly unless he's great.
All right, Vandy over 4.5, Missouri over 7.5. Actually, I'll do Missouri to win the ACC.
SEC.
I'd like him to win the ACC.
God damn it! We did so well to avoid these. Now some guy's going to be very upset in the comments. May let us know how you feel about Sean screwing up the.
I was looking at Texas A&M of maybe taking their over, and the A got stuck in my brain. All right, fucking brain police over here.
The A.
Missouri to win the SEC at 55-1. Missouri over 7.5, and Vandy over 4.5. Colby,
Let's lock up Vanderbilt over 4.5. Let's lock up
Shocker.
South Carolina under 7.5.
I was thinking about doing that.
The future for me is A&M.
yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah.
A&M to win the SEC at 15-1.
Let's go.
I'm gonna change mine to that.
You guys, come on, Sean.
No,
You're getting rid of Missouri. You're getting rid of Missouri to win the ACC.
you know, no, I'm gonna say because you guys shit on me, and then this will be a great clip when Missouri wins the SEC.
Oh, I like.
I'm sticking with it.
I'm on the
55-1.
college football playoff. I mean,
Yeah, let's go. Colby, you didn't take Vanderbilt to win the SEC 300-1. What do you think is a better chance? Vanderbilt to win the SEC or Pavia to win Heisman? They're priced at the same.
neither.
I'm gonna say Vanderbilt to win. No, I'm gonna say the Pavia. Look at those numbers he's putting up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
If he gets a bunch of rushing touchdowns.
Yeah. When he sweeps Virginia Tech, when he completes that sweep against Virginia Tech.
0% chance 0% chance he wins the Heisman. Sorry, Sean.
It's all right.
We're trying to get him on the fucking show right now. And you're
Come on.
Yeah,
man.
good.
We're trying to glaze.
I would love to talk to him. I'm just saying. I think that the way the Heisman works
from a distance, because if not, he'd whoop your ass. Right?
I think the way it works, he's. I mean, maybe.
I'd take the state wrestling champ of in
Yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah, Kramer. Next thing you know, he's going to be in a cement job.
I mean, sure. I mean, he's just the guy who's been playing college football for a while.
Smash that subscribe button. Tell your buddies to check out the Sports Gambling Podcast and the College Experience. 136 team previews for Colby. We got a bunch more college football conference previews coming up. Stay tuned. Smash that subscribe button. And of course, as always,
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
for the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Still means more, Sean.
Kramer. Let it ride.